Hello everyone, and welcome to my coverage of the New York Film Festival. I usually attend it, but this year is a special year because I attended it as press. I've attended a few other film festivals in the past, such as Sundance and Toronto, but I feel like New York Film Festival is my favorite. I had a blast at this festival, and I can't wait to share my experiences and my reviews with you. The atmosphere here was something else, unmatched for me. It was truly something special, and it was great just being surrounded by fellow film enthusiasts and industry professionals. So buckle up, folks, and get ready for some insightful and amazing reviews of films that I loved. The first film is Ryosuke Hamaguchi's, I believe that's how you say his name, Evil Does Not Exist, which is the director of this film is the same director as Drive My Car. The film follows a man and his daughter who live in a village outside of Tokyo, and one day the village inhabitants become aware of a plan to build a camping site inside of the village that just offers the city residents a comfortable escape into nature. And I guess there's conflict of interest here because it's built near this fresh source of water that they need to keep clean, and there's all sorts of conflict. But the film basically showcases the collision between nature and urbanization, skillfully portrayed through Ryosuke Hamaguchi's masterful direction, and the film captures the essence of that village really well. There's all sorts of themes of family and tradition and progress, and they're all seamlessly interwoven into the narrative of the film. There's a lot of ambiguity in the film as well, especially the ambiguous ending, and to me that just adds a layer of complexity to the film. So Evil Does Not Exist stands as a very good reminder of the delicate balance between progress and preservation. Even the supposed antagonists of the film, the people who work for the talent agency who represent the company, even they're presented with some nuance and complexity. Overall, this film's exploration of environmental concerns, as well as the clash between corporations and local communities, resonated very deeply and highlights some pressing issues of our time. I rate Evil Does Not Exist 4 stars. The next film is May December, directed by Todd Haynes and starring Natalie Portman and Julianne Moore. The film's story unfolds in the very rich setting of Savannah, Georgia, and the film makes very good use of that setting. The characters and the performances in this film are really excellent. There is a long single take of Natalie Portman just against a wall doing, a performance, and it's just a very captivating scene. The camera isn't moving at all. It's just her performance, and yeah, she's just great in this film. And Todd Haynes' direction injects the scenes with this poignant blend of, discomfort and also a sense of immersiveness in the story, and it created a unique and very almost fly on the wall sort of viewing experience. And I think the film presented all these issues in a very balanced and nuanced way, which I respect. I feel as an audience member I was respected, and that's a very important thing. I rate May December 4 stars. The next film I saw was one of my most anticipated films of the year, my most anticipated film of this festival certainly, and that is a film called Poor Things, directed by Yorgos Lanthimos and starring Emma Stone, Mark Ruffalo, and many other talented actors including Willem Dafoe. And yeah, I thought this film was just absolutely fantastic. The film is based on a novel by Alistair Gray, which is also called Poor Things. Although this film isn't a direct translation of the novel, it still does capture the essence of what that novel was about. The film had stunning visuals, and it just left me in awe of just how beautiful every part of it was. Very intentionally miscolored to create these bizarre and otherworldly sort of atmospheres, and it just really added to the visual appeal and the style of the movie. Also, Jerskin Fendrick's score just really complements this film. I really liked it. I thought it was great. Well, it probably will come out at some point, like on vinyl or on Spotify or even on YouTube, and I can listen to it then. Right now, I can't listen to the score, but I really want to because I just really liked it that much. Yorgos Lanthimos, who was at the screening, it was a press screening, but he was there, and he mentioned that he had influence from Dracula, and I definitely saw that in the movie. Emma Stone wasn't at the screening because of, the SAG strike, which, I fully support, but Yorgos Lanthimos was, as well as a few other key crew members, so that was cool. And he seems just like a really chill guy, Yorgos Lanthimos. Like, these movies he makes are like crazy, but he just seems like a humble kind of person, which is good. It was just a very unique character that I could see why Yorgos Lanthimos wanted to tell this story. This charismatic lawyer character, Duncan Wedderburn, she flees with him and they go on an adventure, and that character's played by Mark Ruffalo, and he's fantastic in this movie. Him and Emma Stone, their performances were exceptional, and especially Mark Ruffalo, his performance like really stole the show. His comedic performance in this, he provided numerous side-splitting moments throughout the film. I really enjoyed Poor Things. Definitely check this one out when it's out in theaters. I give this film 4.5 stars. I loved it. Easily my favorite of the festival. The next film is titled Hitman, not the one with Timothy Olyphant and not that other one. Another film called Hitman, 2 words actually. It's directed by Richard Linklater, who's directed many good films in the past, such as School of Rock, Boyhood, the Before trilogy, and now he brings us a lighthearted comedy, very similar in vein to another film he made called Bernie. Hitman reminded me a lot of that film, just the comedic tone of it, and it's not as tugging at your heartstrings as much as it's just trying to be a fun, entertaining experience for the audience. It's definitely a crowd pleaser. Glenn Powell playing all these different sort of hitman personas as people try to hire him. It's very funny. Like, oh man, this is a great character you came up with. And it's just for like 1 scene or 2 scenes. It's like not overplayed. Glenn Powell adds that perfect dose of humor and heart to the movie. He's great in this, and you'll undoubtedly find yourself cheering and rooting for him throughout the film. Hitman overall really struck that balance between, humor and getting the audience to connect with the characters. The film does a good job of keeping the audience laughing while also effectively drawing them into the characters and to the story, and getting you to genuinely care about them. The film was just delightful. It did everything it needed to do, and while I don't think it's a perfect film, it was one of my favorites of the festival, and I found it very enjoyable, and for that, I give it 4 stars. It really left the audience with a happy feeling at the end, and it made me happy at the end. It's just a good, crowd-pleasing movie that knows what it needed to do, and it did it really well. Hitman was definitely the biggest surprise of the festival for me. I was not expecting to like it as much as I did, but yeah, I thought it was really awesome. The next film was a bit of an unconventional experience, but I really wanted to see it because it hasn't screened many times. It's a short film directed by Yorgos Lanthimos and starring Emma Stone called Bleat. And the film is about a woman who lives on an island, a Greek island called Tenos. And the film is just a very meditative experience. It's a black and white film that's only meant to be projected on film and shown with a live orchestra. So there was a live orchestra there, including a choir and a conductor and all that. And it was a silent film, essentially. And Emma Stone's performance was very good in this film, and she was there at this screening of the film. I guess it was exempt from the SAG strike or whatever. Some movies are exempt depending on, the budget and so on. But this was a very small, short film, so they let Emma Stone show up. I'm not going to rate Bleat because it's a short film. Next film is called Foe. It's directed by Garth Davis, and it's based on a screenplay he co-wrote with Ian Reid, based on Reid's novel in 2018, which has the same name. There were some scenes where I thought Paul Mescal was good, but it was just overall kind of a dumb story that was reminiscent of a million other movies. I just hate when a science fiction movie just crams together a bunch of other movies. It was Ex Machina, also Interstellar, and there's a lot of comparisons between those 2 movies you can make. Considering its length, it felt longer than it was, and ultimately it just wasn't an intriguing exploration of those themes it presents. You want to say something about AI, you want to say something about humanity, but it just doesn't come together very well. It felt like just not a lot was happening. There was a lack of really substantial content for most of the film, and that just left me yearning for a more engaging narrative most of the time. And overall, it was very ambitious for sure, but it just didn't really hit the way it wanted to. So yeah, Didn't like it. No, didn't like it. Overall, I would have to rate Foe a 5 out of 10. I just did not really like the movie. I thought it was dumb. Anyway, moving on to All Dirt Roads Taste of Salt, which is directed by Raven Jackson, produced by Barry Jenkins, and the film was presented by Pastel Pictures, which is Barry Jenkins' production company, alongside A24. So there was a lot of big players, pushing for this movie, and I really thought it was quite good. I really enjoyed the movie. The life of a black woman portraying her experiences with love and heartache through childhood to her adulthood. Complex themes might be challenging to grasp for some viewers, and, even though it's inaccessible, I still did really enjoy the movie. I appreciated that it was something different. For its goal of being a cinematic poem, I did think it worked. Playful moments with lots of hugging added like a touch of lightness, I guess, to the narrative. There is a lot of hugging in this movie. I saw many reviews of that. The film's style resembles a poem, emphasizing visual storytelling and metaphorical imagery. Overall, I would give this one a 3.5 out of 5. So let's move on to the next film, which is called Last Summer. There are many films with the title Last Summer, which is about a woman named Anne, who is a successful lawyer. She becomes entangled with an affair with her stepson, Theo, her new husband's son, as their relationship intensifies and risks her relationships with her family. It could have destructive consequences ultimately. So this is a French film. It's a very French film. Leah Drucker, who plays the main character, she was great in this film. I thought she gave a great performance. Felt very like a realistic situation with very believable characters, and the portrayal of the affair between Anne and her stepson is intense, to say the least, and it does have that impact, and it's a very well directed film. It's very nuanced, and it really highlights that delicate balance between, family and career. In her own career, she's helping young people. Meanwhile, she's in this affair with a younger person she shouldn't really be in an affair with. And there's a lot interesting going on, especially toward the later half of this movie, which I don't want to spoil and I don't want to get into. Overall, I thought this was a really good film, and it did a great job of highlighting the intricacies between human beings and the repercussions of making risky decisions. So I would give this film a 3.5 stars. Ferrari, starring Adam Driver and Penelope Cruz, directed by Michael Mann, and I was really looking forward to this film. This was the big closing film of the festival, and it was just a big deal. Of course, there's a lot of star power attached to this film. Adam Driver, Penelope Cruz, Michael Mann, and to be honest, when they showed up at the screening, I was pretty excited. I mean, it was quite a breathtaking kind of scene to see like Adam Driver and Penelope Cruz in front of me. And there are stars that go to these festivals, but just this one in particular had like a really good like lineup of people who showed up, especially considering there's an actors strike going on right now. But that being said, I did enjoy the Ferrari film. A lot of biopics can feel sort of conventional, run-of-the-mill, but this one I feel did a good job of, one, being accurate to how it really was, to the character and so on, and two, just kind of avoiding a lot of the pitfalls these movies can fall into. And Michael Mann's directorial status, his skill in directing just shines through in this movie, and it was very captivating and engaging. There are some quite shocking moments in it that I won't say much about. So the film follows Enzo Ferrari, the founder of the Ferrari car company. Later in his life, amid losing his son and in the middle of his troubled marriage, he confronts his financial worries, and definitely an interesting film, and it, I think, did a good job portraying Enzo Ferrari's profound passion for racing, because he was not just a car company owner, he was a racer himself, and so he instilled the attitude of racing into his company, into his drivers, into the people who made his cars. And there were some really outstanding performances in this movie, including Adam Driver and Penelope Cruz. Overall, it was a decent film and a decent depiction of Enzo Ferrari's life. It did leave me wanting a little bit more at the end of it, but I did not think it was a bad film. But it's not as good as a film like Ford v Ferrari, which also has Ferrari in the title. That's a better film. I would rate this film 3.5 stars. I had a great time at the festival. I really enjoyed the films, and I hope I get to go again next year because I had a fantastic time. And thanks for tuning in for my reviews of the films and my coverage of the festival. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.